Hi everyone. Oh my goodness. What a night. Um, I my name is Kelly and I'm so sorry. We are super late tonight and I've never had this happen before, but my software has completely kicked the bucket and is not allowing me to access the internet. It just said there was no internet connection. And there is internet connection as here we are now. This all proves it, doesn't it? Anyways, thank you guys so much for your patience. If you guys are watching on the replay and you abandoned me, I don't blame you. I'm sorry. That was just horrific. I can't tell you, that was pretty stressful. But anyways, I'm so happy that you're here now. So if you have a chance and you know that anyone wanted to join us and was not able to maybe connect, please share this video now with your friends. If you're on here, please share. And we can get people connected who were supposed to be stamping here with us tonight. Oh my goodness, we're going to go a little bit late, but that's okay. You guys can always watch this on the replay, okay? I can see people are commenting. That is so exciting. Thank you so much for not giving up. So, again, my name is Kelly. I'm so happy that you're here. This is my monthly card club, and I do this online now. I've done it online for a year and a half now, and usually it goes much smoother than this with the tech issues. On Monday nights, on the third Monday of every month, I hold the Google Meet version of this. So that's a live interactive version. And I had tech issues last night too. So I don't know what's going on here, but maybe it's just a sign that I need to take a little break or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's a sign that I need to like double check this and go live and test it all out on my husband before I actually need to go live right at the time. Anyways, so normally I do my Google Meets on the third Monday of the month, and then on the third Tuesday of the month we gather here live on Facebook, and of course this replay is available forever as well. So if you're not able to join live, obviously you figured out how to find this video, otherwise you wouldn't be watching. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you so much for sharing with your friends, and thank you so much for being a member of my card club or even my online community. Even if you're not crafting along with me here today, then you know, you can still have fun watching this video, right? But if you want a pack, I still, at the time of this recording, I still do have packages available, and you can make these cards too. All you need are a few simple supplies, and then you can get started at home. I'd be happy to get you hooked up with what you need to make these cards. It's very few things, like maybe a saying stamp set, an ink pad of your choice, and then maybe a couple tools if you wanted to step it up. So one of my favorite is our water painters. Those are really handy to use as well. So you can of course purchase your club kit if you want. It's $20 a month, or if you prepay, and that's this month only, for the next 6 months, if you prepay, then you actually save $5 a month. So it's the equivalent of actually getting a month and a half for free. It's a really good deal. But my best deal of all is if you place a minimum $35 order with me, you get these projects completely free. So I can mail them anywhere in Canada. You just place your order online on my website, or you can send me an email or message with what you'd like, and I can have it shipped to you or to me. If the orders are under $100, then you save a little bit of money if you're shipping it to me, but you have to pick it up from my place in South Edmonton. So you just let me know what works for you, and I'd be happy to get these projects in the mail for you or put them out for you to pick up. And that leads me to my next little point, is that if you decide to pick up from my house in South Edmonton, pick up your projects, that is, I actually include a fourth project or an additional project for free. So instead of paying money for postage, I'm getting to give you a little bit more crafting fun. So I really like that option as well. And so I have a lot of people who pick up from my front porch. So let me know. I'm happy to work with you and make sure that we can get these crafts in your hands and some products in your hands, hopefully too, so that you can complete them. So without any further ado, let's get cracking here. I want to show you some of our promotions that we've got going on. So this is our Designer Series paper sale that's on this month. It's 15% off right now for any of our Designer Series papers out of the annual catalog that are not specialty papers. So that means they're just our regular, fantastic, thick Designer Series paperweight. And these ones don't have any metallic or any shimmer or anything on them, but doesn't mean they're not fabulous. We're actually going to be focusing on these tonight with our projects, and I can't wait to have you interact with them a little bit more, and maybe in some different ways than you haven't played with before. So I really look forward to showcasing those. If you do want to place an order, just let me know. I have orders going in all the time, and I have an order going in this week as well. And that leads me to my next point here. I have a special gift for you if you have a minimum $100 order. This month you are going to get the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper, which is this fantastic Monet inspired artwork that was actually painted by a Stampin' Up artist. Incredible talent, right? Just whip out a Monet like nothing. So this is 12 by 12 paper. Let me show you what it looks like here. Okay, so when you look at it, it is just beautiful and textural, and I'm going to has the texture of a canvas, but that is just a photographic texture. That is not actual texture on the paper. It's all on the picture that's printed on the paper. So isn't that fun? Just a section of this is just spectacular, but when you see it all 12 by 12, it makes you maybe not want to cut into it, but you have to cut into it, right? The back sides of these are quite plain in comparison, but I really like that for versatility. This one here is really pretty, and on the back side, this is like a soft pink color. It's not going to show properly on my camera there, but I want to see those likes. I want to see those hearts. If you see something that you like, please like, love, comment along. It's so much more fun when you comment along. Can you guys see those little flowers on there? So pretty with the variance in color on that one. Look at these pretty, are they peonies? Are they roses? I don't know. And then the back side of that, look at all the variance in color. It's like purples and greens and dark blues and turquoises. And this is kind of the version of it with flowers. I just love these papers. When they were current products, we made some gorgeous projects with them. Now they're retired, and you actually can't get them from Stampin' Up. You can only get them from me. So free with a $100 purchase this month, you will get this beautiful paper for free. So Perennial Essence is what that's called. And I'd be happy to get that to you. Okay, so that leads me to my next little talk here. I'm just going to minimize this so I can hopefully see. I can see your comments. Yay, Bilkis is here, and Vanessa and Michelle. Oh, thanks, you guys. You're my cheerleaders. This is our new mini catalog. And I want to talk to you about a couple of things. So if you picked up your supplies, or if you had your projects mailed to you, you would have received one of these mini catalogs from me. And you might be wondering, because it says July to December. You might say, wait a second, it's July now. So the crazy thing is there's a global shipping crisis right now. And it's very interesting. I was even at IKEA today, and they were talking to me about the shipping crisis. And are they having problems getting in? You'd never believe it. It's the drawer dividers for kitchen drawers. So we just got a new trailer, or new to us trailer, and I wanted a divider to go into the drawer to separate the knives so we don't cut our fingers off. And they can't get them in. They have a shipping issue. So this is not just a Stampin' Up thing, it's worldwide, it's COVID related, and then it's also because of that Suez Canal block up that they had. So everything is delayed. So Stampin' Up was looking at launching the mini catalog and celebration in July, and they looked at the reports and they weren't going to have very many products. Everything was pretty much going to go on back order right away. So instead of doing that, they decided to just delay it a month, and then as soon as it goes live, we can actually order everything instead of, just being disappointed and not knowing what we can or cannot order. It's just too much for us to track. So it says July to December. It's going to be August to December. And then that brings me to Celebration. Celebration is Stampin' Up's biggest special of the year. and it will be starting August 3rd and running till the end of September, okay? So this is running a month later than what they had planned, but it's still gonna run for 2 months. And guys, this is the first time since I've been a demonstrator, so 14 years now, that they've ever had 2 celebrations in a year. So we had one in January and February, and now we're having a second one with a completely different offering now here in the summer months. So, well, I'm saying summer. It was supposed to be summer, but August and September now. I'm going to call September summer. Why not? With the June that we've been having, it was practically summer, right? So we're going to maybe have 4 months of summer here in Edmonton. What do you think? Is that going to happen? So I can't show you inside these catalogs right now, but I can get you a copy of these. I would love to hear what you've got your eye on, what has caught your eye the most. Just write it out though. Don't send pictures though, because right now we can't post anything from the inside of these catalogs, okay? But I really do want to hear what you like. The other thing I wanted to point out is we have a brand new kits collection offering. This is in a pamphlet called Creativity Made Easy, and you'll look in here and you'll see all different kinds of kits. So this is a kit, and this is a kit, this is a kit, this is a kit, this is a kit. But there's no pricing, no item numbers or anything like that. And that's because these kits are subject to change. So what we want to do is head over to stampinup.ca/kits, or you can go onto my website, and that will take you to the page where all the kits are listed that are currently offered. And we're going to have some more joining us for our mini catalog as well that are going to be Christmas themed. So these kits range in price. The cheapest ones are $16.25, I think. And the most expensive ones that we have right now, I think, are about $30 or just a little bit less than $30. These are all-inclusive kits. And so what that means is they come with everything that you need to make all of the projects that are enclosed. So some of them are previous Paper Pumpkin kits, and that's our monthly subscription service, Paper Pumpkin. But some of them are reimagined, some of them are brand new as well. And I really wanted to point out this kit here because this is a previous kit that had a stamp set that was sent out with Paper Pumpkin. But now it's actually an all-inclusive kit with no stamping. So they've pre-printed these sayings on there, and that's why it's only $16.25, because you're not paying for a stamp set and an ink spot and a block. So that's a really good deal. It's just the project supplies to make these projects, and I think there's 8 of them in that kit. It includes envelopes and these beautiful gold foil touches. So definitely take a look at the kits because you can really make them your own. So let's talk about making kits our own. I wanted to show you the kit from last month. Paper Pumpkin is, again, our monthly subscription service. You can pre-purchase subscriptions and get them afterwards, or you can get the kits from me. But you never will see the kit and know exactly what's coming in it and get it from Stampin' Up! As a full kit. So this one here makes 9 gorgeous cards, and I've got them kind of half-made. I was stamping in the car, so I actually didn't do any stamping because I was a little bit nervous about using the ink and not getting a nice clean stamped image. But that actually leads me to talk about our ink spots that are included. There's Evening, Evergreen, and Bumblebee. So you get 2 ink spots in this kit instead of 1. And you know what? Those are both in colors. One is retiring next year, and one is available for another 2 years as of right now. So that's a really good deal. Also included is this beautiful stamp set. Now, where is it? You suppose. Here it is. And this beautiful stamp set is perfectly coordinated to go along with this kit. You've got some great sayings there, sending hugs, congratulations, thanks for everything, and many. And you can kind of put those sayings together. You've also got a little sploosh, which is so much fun to play with. I love any stamped image like that because it can make a pattern so easily. And it gives you the variance in color. You can see how there's some darker pieces and some lighter pieces. When you stamp that, it's going to give you the sort of look to go along with this beautiful alcohol technique that they've featured as a part of this kit. There's also a line image here that you can color, or you can, of course, stamp something like this behind it. And you've got flowers there, and then an individual flower, and then two little sprigs and flowers here. So this is a really great stamp set that I know I'm going to keep using for years to come. I should mention, if you want one of these kits, you can definitely get them. I have full kits available and refill kits available. So the full kit includes the stamp set and the 2 ink spots, and I'll even include a block for you as well. And then, of course, all the consumable supplies to make all these projects. That cost is going to be $30 for the full kit. And then you can also get refill kits, which comes with everything except for the block, the stamp set, the ink spots, and that's for $15. Those prices include shipping and handling and GST to my house. If you need them shipped elsewhere in Canada, we can definitely work that out, but that will be extra. So let's take a look at some of the bits and pieces here. So we've got these beautiful, again, this is that alcohol technique, but these are die cuts, so you just pop them right out. And you can put them together on a beautiful card that layers up looking like this. We've also got some really gorgeous vellum accents. So this is a printed vellum sheet. You can see through it, right? It's a little bit translucent. And then we've got some of our evening evergreen bordered tags. Again, these are all punched out, ready to go, so you don't have to trim or cut anything. You've got this really fun alcohol look on there. And then you've got our card bases here too. So I don't have them completely done. Again, I don't have the tags done up, but I'll show you what I have so far. So this is the thanks, and this thanks is actually vellum as well, so you can kind of see through that. This called for stamping on top of this pattern paper, but I thought it was gorgeous just on its own too. So because I was putting it together quickly in the car, I didn't do that stamping. I just put that on there. So a little tag for everything is going to go on there. It's going to be perfect. And then this is one of the other cards. Again, it's missing its "You Are Amazing" tag, but other than that, it's complete and ready to go. And I did this while we were driving back from a camping trip, so you can't beat that. And then this one here looks a little incomplete because it is. And all I need to do is put on a tag there with the saying that goes over top, and a little bit of the baker's twine that's included here too. So definitely let me know if you're interested. Again, really great value because you've got 2 ink spots in that pack. So $30 for the full kit or $15 for the refill. All right, let's get to talking about what we're actually crafting with today. So we are going to use for our first project, if you picked up from my house, we are going to be making this project, and it's actually from a kit from the past. This is from February 2020, and it is called Lovely Day. So maybe you can see this stamp set here. I do have full kits and refill kits of this one as well. So let me know if you're interested in that. The ink pad that is included is also an in color. This one is actually a retired in color, but it's one of our favorites. It's Rococo Rose. So this is a fabulous way to start collecting some ink colors for a really inexpensive price. And then we open up our little package here, and we see our beautiful card kit. So oftentimes I design a little bit of a different project. I always kind of feature our kits in some way. Usually it's paper pumpkin, but sometimes some of our other kits make an appearance for my additional card that is free for when you pick up. And this one here, I just gave you the supplies included in this kit, so you might have one of these 3 designs. And we are going to play around with those, and I'll show you a few different ways that you can put your cards together. But I really wanted to get you using the supplies in your house and thinking about these cards in a little bit of a different way and how to put them together in a bit of a different way. And also to showcase that this kit is so incredible because you actually don't need the stamp set at all to put these pieces together. So let's take a look at what is included in this kit. They actually give you 2 sheets of these beautiful tags. They're kind of like a rose gold or copper look on them. And so if you mess up a tag, then you have an extra one. I think I included one in your kits though. We've got our card bases. This one is a bit of a weird card base, and you can see it folds back like this to create like a trifold card when it opens up, okay? And then we've got our adorable printed envelopes. There we go. There's the third one there. And let's look through some of our other pieces. It includes these dimensionals, so you'll have to supply your own because I didn't pop those into your kits, but our normal paper pumpkin kits include all of our adhesives as well. These fun little sequins, and can you see that there's a pre-printed cute little slice of cake? And if you decide to get the full kit of this one from me, you actually get that slice of cake as a stamp too. It's the exact image. So this is kind of like pre-stamped for you. Also in the stamp set are these 3 little lines, and those are actually used to stamp and color in the layers of the cake. So that's really fun. You could also make candles from that. You could stamp them all in a border and make a little design. This here is really fun. It's a die cut flower, and then you've got this piece here which pops apart. Okay, that's the one I'm going to demo for you. And then this one is really interesting. I'm going to maybe zoom up on this one first. This one is made to have a beautiful stamped image put over top of it, and then very loosely the colors align with the leaves and everything. So if you have this card to make at home, stampers, I have a suggestion for you, or you can just freestyle it. You could probably even just leave it like this and it looks really beautiful as well. So if you don't have this stamp, don't fret right now. You can still create the card tonight. And if you fall in love with this, you know where to get it from, right? I've got refills and full kits available for this. Okay, so let's take a look at the finished project that I made for this one. I didn't use the paper pumpkin stamp set. I wanted to use a different stamp set. So I actually ended up using our hand-penned petals. And the location of the leaves actually pretty much perfectly aligns with the green splotches, so it works really well. The size of this works amazingly well considering it wasn't designed to go along with it. So again, if you wanted to make it matchy-matchy, you can definitely purchase a full kit from me, and that's going to give you the stamp set that coordinates perfectly. But otherwise, I think you could use this flower image, or really any flower image, and put some leaves in and make it look really fun and beautiful. You can also see that I changed the design up a little bit for this Have a Lovely Birthday. I just stamped You Are So and then put the lovely on there. But you don't even have to stamp anything. Just the lovely on there is so beautiful. Oh, I didn't show you that part of the kit. I skipped over that part. How could I have done that? I was saving the best for last and I skipped over it. So these are really thick pieces of foam. It's like a big, huge sheet of dimensionals, and these are laser cut into it, these beautiful words, and they've got the foil on there too. So these are really incredible. And all of these really stand on their own too. You don't need to have something stamped to go along with it. So I've just put the lovely going right across there and put You Are So. If you are assembling the kit with the stamp set that they have, just make sure you're lining up Have a and then Lovely Birthday, because the Have a has to kind of fit perfectly with the lovely, and the birthday also has to be kind of over. So make sure you try that out first before you commit to stamping it, okay? That's my little suggestion there if you've got these, if you've got the stamp set at home to go along with it. I hope you guys fall in love with this kit. This is one of my absolute favorites. And let's keep going here. So that was the beautiful, what's it called? The beautiful envelope to go along with that one. And then this one here, I actually switched it up and put Happy Birthday. They have called for You're a Great Reason to Celebrate. So you're a great reason to. and then stamped on, and then celebrate is on there, but I think celebrate and then happy birthday works really great. For the stamp to go in behind here, instead of the one that's included in the stamp set, I actually used the painted poppies, and I used the flower in a matching kind of pink color, and then I even put the leaf down here, and I did Old Olive, which is the coordinating color there. So if you are wondering here, our coordinating colors are Petal Pink, Pool Party, Pretty Peacock, Rich Raspberry, Rococo Rose, and Old Olive. Okay. Now the one tip that I have for assembling this card is make sure that you don't put any adhesive on this side here, otherwise you'll glue your card shut. So you want it just on the part that's going to be adhered to the front, and then this little tab here slips in there, and then your card opens up very cutely like that. Isn't that great? Such a pretty card. And so simple. Again, you don't have to put anything on that tag. So you could just put celebrate and have those beautiful flowers, and I think just on its own it looks really beautiful. Okay, let's go to our third card, because this is the one that I'm going to demo. I'll show you here. They've got this little pop-out window, and then sitting in behind is this cute little cake, and they've colored in 3 of the cake layers, and then they've got birthday and wishes put on there. Okay, so what did I make? I made one that said heartfelt wishes, and I changed mine into a shaker card with just the addition of some window sheet. That's what is enclosed in the front of this piece here, and then some of our foam adhesive strips. These are like dimensionals, but cut in big long strips, and they're about twice as thick as our normal dimensional. And I'll show you how to put that one together, okay? Basically, what I wanted with this card is for whatever card design that you got, for you to play around with it and to be inspired and try something new and different with the start of a Stampin' Up! Kit, and then make it your own. Because I knew that most of you would not have the stamp set that goes along with it. So let's look at our bits and pieces here. We've got this piece where we're going to just pop this out. We don't need that anymore. You could use that on another project, but I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I'm sure it's going to be cute. And let's say that we want to do, let's do heartfelt, just to keep it easy, rather than having me look through everything again. I'm going to change the colors on. I'm going to go with Smoky Slate. That's a great color. That's really versatile. So I'm just going to stamp that on my little tag here. Heartfelt. And then that heartfelt, I should mention, is from Lovely You. This is a really great stamp set. It's got wonderful sayings and then some beautiful kind of solid imagery that is really simple and easy. Then I'm going to take my cake. What color of cake should I make? Green cake is maybe a little bit strange. Do I do blue cake again? Or, sorry, purple cake, or I'm going to do blue. So you could change this up however you want. I'm using my Stampin' Right markers. These are our water-based markers. You could use the blends, no problem. Whatever you prefer, whichever one you grab. That's so cute. Doesn't it look great now? I don't know what that cake would taste like, but I want to try it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, oh my goodness, did I not prep this? I didn't prep this. You guys, I swear I am a person who is normally very together. We get to do this in person now. Okay, so I'm going to grab my window sheets. Isn't this fun? I'm going to grab my window sheets, and good thing I have them handy and I'm not running all over the countryside here. I've got a piece that's already cut 3 inches long, and then I'm just going to cut it 3 inches wide as well. So let's just trim that up. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be hidden. Let's keep that away. Okay, so I've got my little 3-inch piece cut, and I have to adhere this onto the back of my cardstock. I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. I know the first thing that you want to do is to start using these awesome foam adhesive sheets, but you can't put those on yet until you enclose the front of your shaker card. So now that I've got kind of a front cover, now I can take my foam adhesive strips, and these are fantastic. Like I said, they're really quite thick in comparison to our dimensionals, and the reason for that is so we have even more space between the two sheets for the things to shake around. So if you have sequins, they're not getting sandwiched and stuck in place with it being too close together. So that's the reason why you would want to have this different product. So I just kind of put it around here, and then we can peel off this adhesive backing. You want to make sure that the gap there is quite closed. Mine is a little bit bigger than normal, that I would normally do, but it doesn't matter because my sequin is not that big. So now I'm going to just take my little sequins, and I've included a bunch, so make sure you dump out your envelope really well. There we go. So dump out your envelope really well, and then pile up your sequins. Easier said than done. There we go. Pile up your sequins in the middle here, whatever you're putting into your shaker card, and then I actually like to flip it over and then just look through the window to perfectly center it and press that on. So one thing I should note about these super sticky dimensional strips is that they are actually thicker than the regular dimensionals, and so if you put the regular dimensionals on here, it will actually kind of bend your card. So what I like to do is even out the thickness of the dimensionals all over this card by making my own little mini dimensionals. So using my scissors, I just snip along the edges and I create these little strips. There we go. So I can put those on, and that's just going to make sure that it doesn't start off high, like really popped out in one spot of the card, and then kind of flatten back to the rest of the card where I've used the regular dimensionals. Okay, I'm going to zoom this in right after I finish putting my Stampin' Seal on here. So I've already got this popped up here, so I don't need any more pop. I just need some Stampin' Seal. So can you guys see that? I've got Stampin' Seal, and then I've got my little custom-made thick dimensionals everywhere else. I can just pop that onto my card front, and now I've got that fantastic shaker card. And then I can put this on here. Even just wishes would look great as well. Doesn't that look great? There you go. Isn't that fun? Little shaker card. And so all you need are these window sheets. These are a little bit thicker than our acetate envelope. So can you guys see this? It's quite rigid, and that means that it's not going to sag down or get damaged or anything. So it's definitely different than our acetate clear envelopes. But, you know, I'm going to just leave this heartfelt off to the side. I don't even think that we need it. That's such a cute card. Okay, so let's talk about the supplies that I would recommend using along with this. So there's a few stamp sets that I think are really great for sayings that go with this. So Lovely You, Color and Contour, the Artistically Inked flower I thought would be great in here. Tasteful Touches, again, is kind of a line work flower, so you could just stamp that on there. And then of course I used on my projects the painted poppies. I used that little poppy in here and this leaf, and then I used hand penned petals too. That was on this card here. This image works pretty well with that one. Okay, so fast forwarding ahead here, we're zooming off. Again though, if you did want to make sure that you had the perfect stamp set to go along with that, there's a really easy way to get that, and that is to just contact me about getting one of my full kits. and I'd be happy to get that to you. That includes that really big stamp set that you will keep using over and over and over again. And then of course all the supplies that you can make all those 3 designs and make 3 of each of them. Okay, on to the next. You're going to grab your project, and they're going to be a little bit out of order in your packet, but grab the project that looks like that, or maybe it's in this color, the mint macaron color, okay? Oh, hi Shada. Oh, look at this. Sequins are tricky little things. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I love having you guys craft along with me. Thank you so much. And thanks for, not giving up on me, like I said. That's just wonderful. Okay, you guys ready to see the next project that we're making? This one has, again, a color alternative that I've given you. So you might have the mint macaron, or you might have this beautiful Highland heather color. So let me show you this project here. So we've got, I'm doing a little hello greeting because I love having hello greetings on hand. And I'll maybe zoom up on one of these here. So this is the Highland heather color matching with the Highland heather ribbon. And we've got some of our new beautiful gold paper. This is not like a glitter paper, it's like a glimmer paper. And then of course our amazing little bumblebee there, which is so pretty. All of it comes together so perfectly with our designer series paper, which coordinates both of those colors into the paper. And the one that we're using for this is the hand penned designer series paper. Now let me show you what it looks like. You might have any of these patterns, I don't know. So this one here, and the back side is always a little bit more plain. And then we've got this pretty floral one, and another pretty like more purple flowers. And the back side of that is always kind of more coordinating. So the back side of that is purple. And this one here. I love that these look so sketchy. It looks like, you actually hand penned them yourself. This one's really fun and detailed. And then the back side of that is like a little scallop border in yellow. Aren't those pretty? So again, 15% off if you wanted to get those this month. Make sure you get those. All right, let's talk about what we're doing here to put this one together. We're going to start with our designer series paper. You can see I've cut it square, and that was just easy for me. So if you want to do it just square, that definitely works as well. That would be a beautiful layout. A nice simple card. But I wanted to show you how you can take the simple 4-inch by 4-inch paper and make it a fun and different layout. And that's just by taking your paper cutter and trimming off about 1 centimeter on one side and as close to the edge on the other side as you can. And then you get this fun, fresh, diagonal look, and it just feels like a totally different card. So 4 inches by 4 inches is one of my favorite dimensions because you can of course get 9 out of a 12 by 12 sheet. So it really maximizes our paper. We're going to put on our stamp and seal. There we go. And I can even put my stamp and seal up here because I know exactly where that ribbon is going to go. You could put it on the back side of the ribbon too if you wanted. Then I'm going to wrap the ribbon around just with a little bit on the back side here. There we go. And then now we can finish off this part by actually just putting some dimensionals on the back side and layering it onto our same color of cardstock that we're using for our card base. Of course, you want to use your bone folder to give that nice crisp score. This is one that I think, is not high on your list when you're first starting, but it sure is helpful. You fall in love, of course, with the stamps and the beautiful papers and all the embellishments, but that bone folder is really going to save your bacon because it allows your card to fold really crisply flat so it doesn't just open up on its own. All right, let's lay this on here. There we go. Okay, so now I've got it kind of popped up there with the layer on layer color. And now let's look at this tag a little bit. So I want to show you this because I'm using a fantastic new stamp set called Biggest Wish. This is a really unique stamp set. In fact, I actually don't know if I've ever seen something like this in all my years as a demonstrator, because it's so bold, and then you also get the same words as cursive. So you can mix and match them. You can put happy along with birthday, or you can do what I did here and put hello and hello together. You see that? Do you notice anything else about that hello? Maybe that big, bold hello, you're seeing something a little bit different? Okay, there we go. On camera. What do you think? Do you see something? Do you see the pattern on there? I'm going to teach you, maybe you've done this before, I don't know, but I hope that I'm teaching you a new technique here. It's called kissing. So you're going to need a big, bold stamp whenever you're doing something like this. And then you also need something that has a pattern. So I'm going to use my Sending Hugs, this big, bold hug, but I'm actually only using that little section there. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to use Highland Heather to matchy-matchy coordinate with my card here. The color of this one is Mint Macaron again. And then I've got my ink pad. I'm going to put these to the side here so that I can bring my little foamy thing in here. I have a table that warps. If you have that, just put something underneath it. Your catalog works great, whatever you want. And then you'll need a bit of scrap paper too. So I'm going to just prepare this a little bit. I'm going to stamp my hello, the big solid image, into my ink, and then ink it off. So stamping it off. So I just stamped hello on there. And then I'm actually going to ink up my other heavily patterned stamp, and I'm going to kiss the stamps together. Kissy kissy. And that's going to pick up the image. It's basically like stamping onto another stamp. So you can do this technique with all kinds of different things. Let's take this closer so you can see that just on its own. Can you see that? It's got the pattern on there. So fun, right? And because I was able to stamp off, that's what made the background of this lighter. So you don't have to do that. You can use two totally different colors, right? Just make sure you're starting off with something lighter and then going to something darker. Let's see here. So we can put that to the side and we can grab our little cursive hello. I'm just going to stamp that in full strength over the top. Kissy kissy, Michelle. So that is a really fun way of playing with one ink pad and getting a totally different look. Isn't that fun? Ooh, have you kissed stamps recently? Maybe have you ever kissed them together before? This Sending Hugs is a really fun one, just on its own, right? Like that would just be beautiful to stamp that image, but it really does pull double duty when you can kiss your solid stamps with it. And that would work with any of the sayings in this Biggest Wish. So that's a really good stamp set to have. I find that actually this stamp set is being purchased by my really experienced stampers who I'm sure have a ton of sayings in their crafting space, but are really like magnetized to this beautiful design that's so different and fun. Okay, let's talk about putting on this glimmer paper. I'm just going to put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the back and kind of glue it on. And then I'm going to take my paper snips and just run down the side here like this. Oh, I need a little bit more. I put my adhesive up just a hair too high. So I just need it down a little bit. That's better. Here we go. Now it's actually going to hold that paper on. Are you looking at this piece of paper? It's spectacular, isn't it? This one here is our new paper in our annual catalog. Let me show you it. It's called the Gold and Rose Gold 6" by 6" metallic specialty paper, and it is really a specialty. You can kind of see it's not got like particles, like when you scratch it there's nothing there. It looks like it has texture. It definitely has a grain to it, because if you put this is the gold and then this is the rose gold here. Can you see the difference there? So pretty, right? So if I put the rose gold kind of going a different direction, you can see the difference there. That it's kind of got a vertical grain here and a horizontal grain there. You see what I'm talking about? This is incredible paper. It's nice and thick. It's really quite rigid. You can put it through, of course, your Big Boss. You can punch with it. My intention was to punch with it till I realized that somehow I don't own the ticket punch. So you know what's going to be on my next order. How do I not own that? I don't know. I love to show projects that are made with just punches, because not everyone has the Big Boss or the Mini Boss. But this one I had to actually cut it out with this shape here, and the piece that you received from me was just cut in half so that you could have that little border going along the bottom. But my intention was to use that ticket punch. So anyways, you guys know where I was going with it anyways. This paper comes with 4 sheets of each of the 2 colors in the pack, and is really inexpensive. I think it's like $6.25 or something. Let's see here. I think we're pretty much all done. Let me get my little bits and pieces out of here. It looks cleaner. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of my little tag. Hopefully you've found a saying that works in that little tag. And wow, I went dimensional crazy. Normally I would probably only put 2 dimensionals on something like that, but apparently I really want this to stick on there. Put our little tag on there. And then to hold on our adorable little bumblebee, we are going to use glue dots, our best friend. Here we go. I just stick it onto the glue dot itself and then use the item to actually pull off the glue dot. And there we go. We've got our beautiful finished card. Ta-da! Beautiful subtle shimmer, and showcasing a really fun stamping technique that I hope you'll be inspired about. Okay, let's take you through the catalog and show you what products I use. So I'm using everything from our annual catalog right now. Ooh, better put that away. That is a recipe for inking myself up. There we go. Okay, so our annual catalog, on page 19, you can see, let's put this to the side here. There we go. On page 19, you can see this Sending Hugs, and there's actually a set of dies that go along with it too. So that's a really fun bundle and save 10% item. I think that those are going to be great. I love sending hugs. I wish, you know, we could give hugs right now. We can, but, you know, some people don't want to have you hugging them right now. So I'm sure it'll take time. So in the meantime, we send paper hugs, right? The Biggest Wish stamp set is one that I think that should be on everyone's list. That's on page 63, and that is super inexpensive at just $23. Can I quickly show you another stamping technique that you can do with this fun set? I hope I can. I'm going to. Let's see here. I didn't leave myself out of tag, so I have to do something else. I want to show you a technique that is so fun to use with these solid stamps. I'm going to start with a lighter color here. I'm using Petal Pink, which is really light. Okay, that's like pretty much the lightest pink that you can get. And then I'm going to flip that over, and I'm grabbing some Flirty Flamingo. And with this, I'm going to grab a sponge dauber. These come in a pack of 5, and they just fit on your finger. You can also hold them like this too, but I like the finger application. And I'm just going to pounce it a little bit in my pad, and starting at the bottom, I'm going to add a little bit coming up here. Just coming up from the bottom. Now I've got my piece of paper here. It's a really fun little scalloped edge. And let's see here. We're going to stamp. I've got my logo there. stamp here. And let me show you what that looks like. Can you see the gradient color there? It might not be showing up very well, but I tell you, I'll post a picture of what this actually looks like, and it is so fun. I then stamped the happy in a different color, and do you guys want to see this finished samples that I made with this? Okay. Yes, they all shouted at their computers. So instead of doing it on this kind of a tag, I used a little bit of a different tag. And I used some of our retired designer series paper, which had an acetate package that went along with it as an overlay. If you like this, I've got 2 packs of the acetate left and 1 pack of the designer series paper. But there you go. There's that happy birthday. Can you guys see the difference in color there? It's really fun. So I put that together. This is the design that I came up with for the card swap. This is going to be a card swap as a part of the next round that people signed up for. I love card swap. It makes me have fun and play with my projects or play with my products in a totally different way. And then I made a third project here, and this was really showcasing the acetate paper and then the paper that goes, the designer series paper that goes along with it. And this is a really fun technique. So when you pull on this little tab, your paper goes from white to being colored with that gold acetate. Can you see? Isn't that fun? So you can just pull it up and then that tag stops it from being pulled out. But isn't that beautiful how it just goes right over it like that? And you could keep playing with this all day, I'm sure. It's just gold and white, and then pulling it out. So if you want to see a tutorial like this, the ladies last night were really excited about seeing a tutorial like this, and I would be really happy to show this. I'm heading out camping tomorrow actually, so I can't show it to you before I leave, but I promise maybe in a couple weeks I will try to get this tutorial out there for you. Super fun, right? Swappers, get ready because you're going to receive one of these little beauties. Okay, sorry, that was a little side teaser, but let's continue talking about the products that we used here. So is everyone sold on this biggest wish now? I hope so. I hope you fall in love with it because you can really do so many different things with it. The big and boldness of it too works really well with embossing, so like heat embossing. You could also make your own colored ink pad or a spectrum ink pad and stamp this out. It would be spectacular with these. And you could even use happy and birthday and make it 2 bold ones together instead of doing what I did and pairing the 2 together. Okay, so hopefully your brain is going bing, 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 thinking of all these different things. We've also got on here this hand-penned 12 by 12 designer series paper on page 131. Just while I'm here, I'm going to go through the ones that are on sale for 15% off right now. So Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted. The Expressions in Ink is not included because that one is actually a specialty paper, but the hand pen that we used on this project here is included, as well as In Good Taste. This is a little bit of a different pack. It's a double pack put together. So instead of 2 of each of the designs, you actually get 2 of each of 12 designs. So double the designs and still 2 of each of them for a double thickness pack. It's got 24 sheets in it, and instead of paying 2 times $15.75, you're actually getting a discount already with it being $29, and they've put a 15% discount on that this month. So if you're going to get 1 pack of paper, I think this is the one to get. It's a really versatile pack with lots of textures and fun textiles imagery. It's just flat paper, so it's really versatile, but the textures on the actual photographs of the paper really make it look like it has a feel to it. In the Wild is also included in the special, as well as Pansy Petals. Sweet Symmetry, we've got our 6-inch by 6-inch Tidings of Christmas, and our You're a Peach, which we're going to use on our next project. Did you guys totally miss this gold paper like I did? On the bottom of page 135, there it is, coming in from the corner. when I saw it, I fell in love and I thought, okay, I know I'm going to love this. I just ordered 6 packs right off the get-go. And I'm happy I did because we're going to be playing with this a lot. So again, this is the Gold and Rose 6" by 6" metallic specialty paper, and it's $6.75 for 8 sheets of 6 by 6. Okay, what else do we have going on here? We've got our beautiful Highland Heather shimmer ribbon. This is a Girl Green ribbon, but you can see it's actually got the bit of glimmer, actually embedded in it. It's not like it's a glitter, it's really a glimmer, and I think that's so classy looking. And then, of course, we used our bumblebee trinkets. These are so pretty and so fun and go on so easily with just a glue dot. Aren't they awesome? They've got a really nice thickness to them, and they're just a showstopper. I think you could put that on any card and have it be just super beautiful. Okay, the next one that you are going to be pulling out is that big piece of designer series paper. If I'm going too fast for you, don't fret. This will be on replay forever if you're watching live. If you're on replay, you've already realized that you can stop me and pause me and rewind me, so you're not worried at all. But here we go. We're going to start moving on to the next one here. I've got a whole bunch of bits and pieces. Oh, look at that. I did have one of those. I cut myself another one last night because I was short one in my other kit. Okay, we've got those little pieces here. If you're looking at grabbing some things from around your craft room, we need to color this peach, okay? So grab some peachy, inky colors. I'm using 3 different colors. I'm using Pale Papaya, which is our really light new in color. Mango Melody, which is a very bright orange, a bright happy orange. And Calypso Coral, which is a beautiful light pink, but still quite vibrant. And the thing that I used to apply these colors to our peach is a water painter, which I also use along with a Pear Pizzazz ink pad to do this little stem. Now, let me show you the project that we're making here. I've got 2 different versions, so let me show you both of them. So this is your project that you're making. You can make whatever saying that you want. We've got some beautiful little embellishments on here. I don't know if you guys can see those over here. And this is a hand painted peach. You can see it's going to be different every single time. And we're going to hand paint on those leaves too. And this is actually a tri-fold card using designer series paper as the base. So as we open it up, then we reveal the inside, and then we can open again, and that's where we can write our nice long message. You could also stamp something inside there too if you want, but I'm a bit of a book writer when it comes to writing cards. So I really like having a nice open sheet of cardstock that I can write my message. Okay, so since we were talking about peaches, let's get started with the peach itself. I'm going to, since I used green last time, I'm going to start with the green, okay? And let me bring in my little box here so I can give you a zoomed in experience. Here, there we go. Okay, so we've got a peach die cut out, and then we've also got this little stem. I'll bring this card in too. So with this, we are going to add on some green. I'm going to put that Pear Pizzazz. With the old ink pads, you could easily squish it and create a little palette in the lid. If you're having trouble with that with your new ink pads, I've got a little sneaky tip for you. With the new ones, you can do that as well, if it works. If you're having trouble though, then just grab a block and you can make a little palette on the block by stamping onto that, okay? So now I have to put this to the side so I don't ink myself up. Okay, so I'm making a little bit of a palette in my Pear Pizzazz. You could use Old Olive for this. Pear Pizzazz is the coordinating color, but Old Olive works too. And now I'm going to put a little squeeze of water from my water painter in there. I'm going to make this really nice solution. I'm going to start off Oh, I did that quite light. I'm going to grab a little bit more saturated. There we go. I'm going to just paint on some little stems. I'm going to start with this top leaf first, and again with the leaves I'm going to start lighter and then add a little bit more color as I go. So there is a stamp set that goes along with this so that you actually don't have to do any painting, but of course I can't stamp any images for you, so here we are painting little leaves and peaches. But this is really easy to do, and it's kind of a fun way of making it a customized project. Okay, so I've got my top leaf there. I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between the two leaves to make them just read as their own. And I'm going to pick up full saturation ink to come over and do a little bit more shading. I need a little bit more, so let me just close this up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And there we go. So now I can add in a little bit more shading. I like doing the shading afterwards because you can always, with water, start lighter and go darker. You can't really easily take it away. There we go. That's pretty fun. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. On to the next color. To change colors with my water painters, I just have some baby wipes, and I'm squeezing water through the tip as I wipe back and forth. If you don't do that, sometimes you might have a bit of pigment come back into your water here, which is easy to see if that's happened, but is not an ideal situation. Okay, with our peach, we're going to look at it in two different shapes. We're going to look at it as like an oval and then a crescent moon, okay? So don't get overwhelmed. It's just an oval and a crescent moon. And that's what's going to give us this fun peachy look from this very flat looking piece of white. Maybe it's a little bit daunting for you, but let's not get overwhelmed, okay? So I'm starting with the lightest color, sorry, not the darkest, doing the lightest color. And I'm going to do an overall wash on this. So I'm making sure that I've got a nice water flow. This is watercolor paper, which is made of cotton, and it's our Fluid 100. So I don't know what that means, but it sure does work well. Okay, just going around here and giving that nice base color so that this is the color that's going to show where my other colors are not applied. Okay. So I feel confident in that one. I'm going to put that one away, and I'm going to head over to Mango Melody. These are just color suggestions. Grab any color that you feel is kind of peachy. So again, using the palette, the lid palette, I'm going to take down the saturation of this one a little bit, just to start with, because it's always easier to add more color. So I'm doing a crescent moon shape there. And then I'm going to do an oval here, creating a little bit of a light section over here and even a highlight in the center here. There we go. Now I didn't make this up on my own. I just looked at their stamped image and I went off of that. So we're really like creating our own stamped image here. And this is the medium color. It's the more orangey color of the two, so it's kind of fun to play with the saturation kind of around the edges. I'm going to use this along with the Calypso Coral to create my final finished peach look. There we go. So let's take a look here. So again, just putting a little bit of color in there. It doesn't matter if you're, adding some of the other color into it because it's all going to blend anyways. It's going to blend on the paper, so it doesn't matter that I didn't clean off my brush tip in between. And I'm also going off of Stampin' Up's peach designs. Let me show you that. So if you take a look at Stampin' Up's peaches, they're not perfect, okay? So you don't have to be a perfectionist for your own peaches. let's just make beautiful little peaches here and that look all fuzzy and delicious. And I guarantee the person that receives this card is just going to be amazed that you colored in a peach. You're going to say, what? That wasn't pre-printed? They're not going to say, oh, that doesn't really look like a peach. You know, nobody looks at our cards as close as we do, right? So whenever you're having a little bit of a perfectionist moment, just remember that nobody is looking at our cards as closely as us. Okay, let's put this to the side and let this dry for a minute. Can you guys see that there? I've got my nice little peach. There's a dried version. And basically you just want to have a little light section that shows a little bit of variance in color. Ooh, I almost lost my fancy little rhinestone. Okay, so putting that to the side, let's start from the bottom up. Okay, so when we go to the inside of our card, here we see a rectangle. And you guys know that I love maximizing my paper usage. So what did I do for you? I gave you a rectangle, but I cut the center out of it, and that's what we're going to use on the front of the card, okay? And this rectangle, instead of it being a piece of scrap paper or garbage, we're actually going to put that onto our card base to create an extra layer. I love thinking about creating layers a little bit differently and maximizing my paper usage. It makes me feel really happy when I know that I've used every little bit. There we go. So we'll put that on there. And then we'll put our white cardstock over top. Again, if you want to stamp this, you definitely can. I love that whoever receives this card is not even going to realize that there's a big hole missing out of one of their sheets of paper. Shh, don't tell them. Okay, so then we've got, it actually doesn't matter there how I align this up, but I actually want this the other way. So I should have shown you that first. So if you're stamping that, just make sure that you're putting this in the right way. The way that this card is going to fold is with the wider piece folding in first, and then the narrower piece. And the reason why I like that is because I've got this little scallop coming over the edge. If you don't, you know, if you have it going the other way, maybe your designer series paper is upside down, who knows, but whatever. I think that this pattern is versatile enough that it won't be such a big deal. Okay, let's do this layer now. I'm going to use my Sweet as a Peach stamp set. And I just love this Have a Peachy Day. I'm going to use my Pear Pizzazz. And I was going to grab the blue, but I didn't have a chance to do that. Amongst all of my crazy tech issues, I didn't have a chance to get that going. Okay, Have a Peachy Day. I'm just stamping that up kind of in the right corner. And since we're stamping, let's take our large scallop rectangle, so not the small, that's going to go here. Let's take our large one and find a saying that's going to work there. Again, from Sweet as a Peach, I'm using a combination of Happy Birthday and To a Sweet Friend. And I've got them both mounted on the same block. I have a horribly dirty block, but I've got them both mounted on the same block there. And I'm going to take my Smoky Slate. That I think works really well with the blue. If you don't have the blue marker, or the blue ink pad, or if you even don't have the green, just go for a Smoky Slate or gray granite, even basic gray, and that would be a perfect combination. You could use a black ink pad too if you wanted. Happy Birthday to a Sweet Friend. There we go. There's a lot of fun sayings on this one. I like the Happy Birthday, thanks so much, Have a Peachy Day, of course, and then there's little ones like hello and then friend, and Sweet as a Peach is always great. Okay, so let's put this to the side. We're done our stamping now for this card, and then we can just start having fun here. I'm going to put on the designer series paper. That goes in here like this, and I am going to put it just a little bit up from the bottom. Now you'll notice this piece of paper is actually cut a little bit long, and the reason I do that is with shorter pieces it's sometimes hard. Sometimes my paper cutter just wants to cut them angled, so I like to cut them a little bit longer so you can have it perfectly aligned. With just a little snip of your scissors, you can ensure that that is perfect. Then I put my ribbon on here. This gorgeous ribbon is so soft. It's got the perfect weave on it, and I really like that it's got the white border on the top and the bottom edge. I think this is a really versatile ribbon that is perfect for all different kinds of occasions. It'd be great for babies, of course, but it's not only babyish, right? Like, it's very versatile. It's for peaches, but with this being the pale papaya color, which is one of our new in colors, it's going to match with a lot of our designer series papers, because pale papaya is in a lot of designer series papers. I'm putting our dimensionals on the back side, and I'm just going to layer that then onto our smaller scalloped rectangle, and with Stampin' Seal I'm going to put that on. I'm centering it on the piece there. There we go. Have a peachy day. Now let's look at the outside of our card. And we might have a different option from the green sprig that I've got here. I'll show you the two. So this one here, or you might have one that's like maybe a little bit larger. I'm going to just take that with some glue dots and put it on. You could definitely have stuck some adhesive sheet onto the back here. For me, I like it kind of hanging over the edge a little bit, so I wanted to put just a couple of glue dots on there and have the texture of it kind of coming up a little bit. When I put on something like this, I know that it's going to be a little bit of a textural element, and especially with the green on green, I wanted a little bit of a lift. I didn't want it to go perfectly flat. So here we go. I'm going to play with this a little bit. I'm going to put it to the side a little bit more. There we go. And now our peach is probably dry. If it's not, then just hit it with a little bit of heat tool, or of course you can just let it be for a little bit longer. For the little leaves here, I'm going to snip a bit of my dimensional edging. There we go. And we will pop this on. I love dimensionals. I just think that they're so perfect. So classy looking. I'll show you this part a little bit closer. So tucking in the stem and then having the leaves go on the top is what I'm going to do there. That just makes it look so dimensional. It is a voluptuous peach. Yes, Michelle. That's awesome. Okay, so put dimensionals on the back side of that. Put them in a little bit from the scalloped edge, just because we know that a bit of that scalloped edge is going to be hanging over the side there. And then I just looked at the front of the card and I put it equal all the way around. Equal, 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 equal. And then there you get that little hint of a scallop on the front. The final finishing touch of this card is to grab our little rhinestones. I like using my take your pick tool to help lift these off. And I'm going to put one here, a bigger one, and then I put a smaller one, and the other smaller one just down here. And these are our champagne rhinestones. They come this color, so they're perfect to go along with anything gold or peachy, of course. And there you go, you've got that one down there. Ta-da! Happy birthday to a sweet friend. Have a peachy day. Or you could have a thank you card. Thanks so much. I like that peachy day, so I use that on all three of them. And there you go. Ta-da! Let's take a look at the products that we used with this card. The stamp set, put this up to the side here. You guys can see that hopefully while I'm chitty-chatting here. And the stamp set that I use is the Sweet as a Peach, which comes as a bundle with the peach dies. And this has a stamp that has a coordinating die cut. And again, for the stem, coordinating die cut. I really like these peaches, which are stamped as a set of 3 and have a die that cuts all 3 of them out at the same time. And you'll notice that you can actually stamp that if you wanted to just stamp the leaves of the branch and the peaches all in one. You can stamp this or ink this up in green, stamp it onto your paper, and then ink this up in the peachy color and stamp that right in there. It nestles perfectly. You've also got some blossoms that fit perfectly in there too, and those also come on a die that cuts out the 3 at once. Also included in this set is a little die that will have all of these little sayings, a branch, and look at this, a whole bunch of leaves. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 individual leaves, and then you've got 2 pairs of 2 leaves there. And then the perfect accent for any peachy card or any card in general are these adorable little flowers. And you've got 1, 2, 3 dies that will cut out 3 each of these tiny, tiny little flowers. And then you've got 1 die with some little bit bigger flowers too. So those make great accents. Instead of rhinestones, you could do something like that, right? The scalloped contour dies are really fun. These come in a bundle with a stamp set, which is kind of an unlikely pair in my opinion, but I'm really kind of obsessed with it, to be honest. So these dies cut out the stamped images, which I'll show you in the catalog in a minute. But these scallop contour rectangles are so incredible. This big one here is going to cut out these little eyelet holes. The ones that we used on the project that we're making today are these ones here, and you can see it includes the stitching or the little pin dot stitching. This one is really fun. It actually cuts this line as well as the scallop border, so you can easily wrap ribbon kind of through this cutout piece of paper. It's really fun. And then this one cuts out these little tiny eyelet holes. So these rectangles you're going to use a million times, I swear. They're so easy to use. They do such a nice cut. And then this big scallop border you could use along any sheet of paper you could even do it, along here, right? How cute would that be? You could reinvent this card in so many different ways. So the scalloped contour dies is the one that I showed you there. And the other one here that I'm going to show you is included with a stamp set as well. This is Forever Fern. I don't think it's bundled anymore, but it has these gorgeous stamped green images, which then you can use the dies to cut out those stamped images. The cutouts that we've used here tonight are actually standalone, so they make little branches that don't coordinate with any of those directly. It's kind of its own thing. So this is a really great die pack. It's called Forever Flourishing Dies. Can you guys believe it? I have hardly any of the designer series paper left to show you, and I don't even have another pack. I went through 2 packs when I was cutting your projects here. So this is what I have to show you from that peach designer series paper. But isn't it fun? I love that you can see both sides in a project like this. Okay, so to the catalog, let's go. And we will show you what we used here. On page 61, the You're a Peach bundle is a stamp set and the dies. That you can bundle and save 10%. Then for our peach, I used the water painter. You could also use the blender pen. The blender pens are a pen that is double-sided and has the solution already in it. So they don't work as well with our watercolor paper, which really absorbs a lot of moisture. That is going to dry out these blender pens a little bit quicker, so I really recommend the water painters, which you fill with your own water and then use to pick up color the exact same way. We've got our designer series paper, You're a Peach. Remember, 15% off this month. And what do we have here? The Fluid 100 watercolor paper. That's on page 136 on the Paper Basics page. you'll definitely want to have a pack of that so you can do all kinds of fun techniques. On this page here, you can see our pale papaya and white ribbon. And we've also got, on the next page here, our champagne rhinestone basic jewels. These are just like our basic rhinestones, our white rhinestones, but they're already colored. And they're in such a neutral color that, for me, these are an essential purchase to have along with your rhinestones and your pearls on hand, so that they're ready to go for your crafting needs. They're just the perfect little embellishments for so many different projects. Okay, our scallop contours here is on page 98. And you can see this is actually the stamp set that goes along with it. So the dies cut out this stamped image and this stamped image, and then the rectangles go with some of the sayings, but otherwise this is just kind of a little bit of a strange pairing to me. But these scallop dies are going to be so essential. So you can purchase just the dies for $48, or you can get the bundle with the stamp set for $69.25, and that's a 10% saving. So that's a pretty good deal. We've also got our Forever Flourishing dies, and those ones, like I said, are not bundle and save 10% along with the stamp set anymore, but you'll want to probably get that stamp set too. It's so beautiful. That was definitely a favorite from our last catalog when it launched. All right, you guys ready? Diorama Card is next. You're going to grab your materials, your little packet that looks like this, or maybe it might be in blues and kind of fall red colors. So grab that packet. And the only other supplies that you're going to need for this are a saying stamp set and some tear and tape I would recommend using. So grab those, be ready to go, and be ready to ooh and ah over these amazing diorama cards. Are you ready for it? Yes? Okay, here we go. We'll start from the top. They are 3D, and look at this. We look into the diorama. We are beckoned into the forest with different layers. Isn't that fun? Now let me tell you, one of the funnest parts for me is that it folds flat and it can go into an envelope, just a standard envelope, and it just goes right in there so you can mail it. Then when the person receives it, they can just pop it open, stick it on their mantle, and they've got this beautiful card that's really a wow factor. And then on the back side, we're going to decorate it. But of course it folds flat so that you can still write your message in a very easy way. Oh, Shada, I'm so happy you like it. You guys are going to want to template this card, that's for sure. So if you aren't already on my newsletter, be sure to send me a message, and I would be happy to send you an email where I'm going to send out the template of this design, as well as a full list. Do you guys want to see this list? It's going to be quick here, and it probably won't be very clear, but I've got a whole list of all of the stamp sets that I would recommend using this diorama message so that I can get you this information. I'd be happy to add you to my newsletter and send that off to you right away. Okay, so how do we put this together? We're going to take this as layers going from the back to the front, okay? So starting with the back, we're going to use our bone folder and score up on these little, or I guess burnish, these score lines that I already have scored for you. Okay, there we go. Where's my designer series paper? Here we go. Now you're going to want to kind of eyeball this so that you can put your designer series paper in somewhat the middle so that you can see it peeking through in this beautiful little peekaboo. Okay, go back here. Okay. Oh, Michelle, your child had a nosebleed, so you had to take time away from stamping. Yes, thank goodness for that replay. That's right. Okay, so I've got my designer series paper. That's going to peek through this piece here, and we'll get to see the forest kind of beyond. Let's go up one layer, and we're going to burnish these little scored lines as well. And this is basically going to sandwich in on itself here, okay? So what we're going to do is put aside our Stamp and Seal. We're going to go to something a little bit stronger. You can use definitely the Stamp and Seal Plus. This is quite a small area, so I'm going to use the more direct application, which is our tear and tape. This is similar to an adhesive that we had years and years ago, but it's the new and improved one. So do you guys remember that orange one, or it's kind of red tape? This is the new version that's so much better because you can tear it. You don't have to get your scissors all gummy, and you don't even have to use scissors at all. It's just so easy to use. So there we go. So we're going to peel that off, and we're going to peel this off, and I'm going to stick here the outside, kind of lining it up, so it's going to create this little box at the back there. Can you guys see that? A little box at the back. And then here I'm going to fold it flat and then kind of lay this piece down onto it. And then now I've got this tiny little rectangle. You can put it both ways here just to flip it. There we go. Can you guys see that? Okay, so now let's finish off this layer here with our little tree. You guys can see there's a little tree that's going to go, and I've got some little leaves there too, and these little leaves are going to kind of come together and overlap each other, and there's going to be little openings. There's openings in the die, so we don't worry about that too much, okay? Using glue dots though, this is going to be the key, and making sure that we are not putting a glue dot anywhere where it's going to be an opening, because otherwise it's going to stick closed when it is flat in the envelope. So I'm just going to do one up here kind of at the top, and then one very far down at the bottom. There we go. And then that's going to be perfect for me. Okay, so we've got our tree on there. Now let's take our little branches. I might just use some mini dimensionals on here because that would be fun. So I guess these are our leaves, they're not our branches. I'm sure you guys correct me at home with all the words I say wrong. There's so many things in my brain right when I do these events. Yeah, I'd love to have a tech person. Wouldn't that have been handy tonight? But yeah, unfortunately I'm a one-woman show, so if I say the wrong words, just fill in what I mean to say, okay? So dimensionals on top of the leaves. I'm going to blame it on too many things to do, but it's also too many things going on in my brain, and then the fact that I think I gave my children my brain cells when I gave birth to them, because mine seem to be gone. Okay, I'm kind of laying the two of them together. You can massage this a little bit and get the look the way that you want, but I don't mind that those little branches are showing through. Okay, let's go up a layer now, okay? Let's finish off with this layer. We're going to then put a little strip of adhesive along that same piece that we have adhesive on the other side of. Okay, so we're just putting some more adhesive on so that our front piece can go right on there. Now this front piece here, you'll have to be a little bit gentle with because I've used the biggest die so that I could have the maximum peekaboo through to my forest. And so we're going to just fold this back and just be very careful when we are doing this part. When it is assembled as a part of the rest of the card, it actually gains rigidity, so we don't have to worry about it too much at that point. So how is this going to go? If we just take a look here we are going to, you can figure out which way you want your peekaboo opening to go. I'm going to do it like this, so I have a little bit more to glue my tree onto on this side. Okay, and then we just take a look, and we're going to glue that so that it aligns there at the back, okay? Okay, we're going to peel off this tear and tape backing, and we're going to put this lighter color. Do you guys notice a difference in color? This is Misty Moonlight on the front, and then Night of Navy at the back over there. And then on the green version, I've used Mossy Meadow and as the darker color, and Old Olive as the lighter color. And I'm just pulling these colors, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just pulling these colors straight out of the Designer Series paper pack. It's so handy because on the back side and on the website, they actually give you a list of all the coordinating colors. So make sure you reference those because it makes your life so much easier when you're designing. Okay, here we go. Line that up there, and now you can see you've got that beautiful diorama. Now to put this big tree on, we're going to keep a couple things in mind. Of course, we're going to keep in mind where that opening is, and we're also going to keep in mind that our card is going to fold flat like that, and we want to keep the tree inside so that it will fit inside the envelope. Okay, so I'm just going to put on a glue dot up at the top here. I'm not worried about the glue dot peeking through the front because I've got some leaves that are probably going to cover it, so I'm not too wound about that. And then let's put a glue dot down here at the bottom, and then that should be pretty good, I think. We can even line it up a little bit and see if there's a spot. Oh, I think I could probably fit one just in behind here too. Let's put a third one on it just in case. Okay, so lining it up with the bottom, and then of course making sure it's in from the side, pressing that on there, and then I can do the same with the leaves. You can do this with a dimensional if you want. What am I going to do? I'm going to do maybe a mini dimensional at the top. I love mini dimensionals. Sometimes even the mini dimensional is a little bit too big, which is funny. So you sometimes need to even cut those in half. But this one I'm in luck. It fits behind exactly where I'm going to be putting those leaves onto the branch. There we go. Oh, it's so fun. I have a couple of pieces that didn't get popped out. If you have that too, maybe just take a look before you assemble your card. That's always easier. But how fun is that? We've got our fun tree leaves, and we've got our tree leaves in the back there, and we can see the peekaboo into the forest beyond, maybe even the meadow or the mountainside beyond. You might have a tag that is long and thin, or you might have a tag that is kind of short and rectangular. Both are from this die set. So I'm just going to grab my early espresso ink. That's the color of the trunk. And let's see here. I think I set myself up for success with thinking of you. Perfect. Again, I'm going to grab my little bit of foam to make sure I've got nice even pressure here. Oh, I've got two. Thank you and thinking of you. Let's do thinking of you. That's a fun longer one. Okay, ink it up, hold your breath, wiggle your nose, and hope that it goes on straight. And if it doesn't, guess what? You've got a second side of the paper. Paper is so wonderful that way. All right, that one worked. We should go buy a lottery ticket or something. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I'll maybe just show you how I'm going to create this fun stamped look on the back here. This is using the stamps from the same set, Beauty of Friendship, that goes along with the dies. So that's going to be this tree, and then the leaves, and then the detailed leaves. So this is kind of like a solid leaf, and then this is more of the detailed leaves. So let's just, since we have a moment here, let's just take a look at this die pack and how it goes along with the stamp set. It's kind of proportionately deceiving because this one here is the one that actually cuts out some of the larger trees. They're shrunken down on the front. And then you can, of course, put that along with this beautiful tree. And so you can cut out the dies, you can have the nice trunk. This piece here cuts out the smaller little tree. You can make that into a bush as well. And then I really like that this trunk cuts out this beautiful leafy, has the coordinating leaves to go with it. And you can also cut another layer. So if you wanted to do like a peekaboo and have it more solid in behind, you can definitely do that too. The great thing about this stamp set is it also comes with fantastic sayings. So I really like stamp sets that are kind of like a one-shot deal. You can get it for the stamp set or the stamp sayings and also have beautiful imagery to go along with it. Okay, I'm going to show you this technique. I use just one of our clear cases, which you can order, and some baby wipes, which I have a ton of in my house. I have a 1 and 4-year-old, so you need these things daily for everything. For noses, for bottoms, for, you know, scratched up knees, you name it. So I'm sure you guys probably have some of these in your house too. And I just fold it up like this, and I'm going to create my own stamp pad. So let's make it nice and thick here. I only need it big enough to have this image here stamped into it, so that's why I'm kind of folding it up so small. I'm also going to grab my early espresso ink and my tree trunk. I don't have a piece of paper prepped for this either because I've already pre-stamped this for some reason. I wanted to showcase this technique. So stamping the trunk first so that we know where to put our leaves. I'm just going to ink up the branches in the trunk and show you how I did this technique. And I'll use this, I'm sure, on another project. So there you go, you've got your fantastic trunk. Isn't that beautiful? And then I used some re-inkers to do the leaves. And that I'm going to use along with my baby wipe. So for our fall colored leaf card, here, I'll show you the back side. I used, which colors here? Mary Merlot and Cajun Craze and Bumblebee. Again, all from the designer series paper. I'm not making this stuff up. And then for the green card, I made it with Old Olive, Mossy Meadow, and some of the Bumblebee as well. So let me show you how to make it with the green version. This is a really fun technique that would be great. I think I mentioned this when we were talking about that really bold stamp set, that you could make your own ink pad for that too. We're just going to put little drops of re-inker. This is the ink solution that goes into our stamp pad. So whenever you purchase a stamp pad, I recommend getting the refill along with it, because you never know when you're going to need that refill, and you'd hate to be without it when you're ready to craft that project. If you're like me, you maybe have a bad memory, or you get called away. Maybe your child has a nosebleed in the middle of your stamping and you get sidetracked and you forget to close your ink pad. I don't know if you've ever done this or not, but those suckers can dry up if you leave them out overnight, or maybe you leave them out longer than that. Don't throw it out though. You can re-ink it. It works really, really well. You just want to make sure that you have that refill on hand. Okay, so I'm doing kind of a mixture of all of the different colors and just dots in different places. So now I'm going to start with the more solid image as a background, and I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it off. I've got a piece of scrap paper here. So that's going to stamp it off, you can see. And then I'm going to stamp it onto my project, which is going to give it a little bit of a lighter look. Can you see that there? That's the stamped off version. And then without re-inking it again, I've stamped it onto my project. So that's going to be the background. Then I've got another side that's a lot more heavily detailed, And I'm going to take that at full strength and stamp it right over top. And that's what's going to give this beautiful colored tree. You guys see that? Is that pretty? Oh, Shada, you are hired as my tech person. If only we could get you down from Fort McMurray every time I want to stamp, right? I like this one actually better than the other one. Didn't that turn out really well? So pretty. Yay! Okay, so when we have that all stamped and ready to go, then we are going to put that onto the back side. Oh, I should mention, before you start stamping, make sure, because this is kind of square, but it's actually a rectangle. So you want to just make sure that you've got it the right way so that your tree is not sideways. Maybe you like that look. I don't know. So let's just put that on with some Stamp and Seal. You guys will notice when I'm using my Stamp and Seal, I finish it by going to the side, and that's so that it stays sticky at the tip and that the adhesive keeps advancing properly. If you're having issues with your Stamp and Seal, just try that, doing a little check mark at the end. And here we go. There's our beautiful card. We've got our Thinking of You somewhere. There it is. We can pop that on with some dimensionals. Again, just make sure that you're not going crazy with the dimensionals and you're going to go into this open area, the diorama area. There we go. Thinking of You. So cute, right? So you might have noticed when I was taking you through that die pack that those small leaves are actually not included in that die set. I used a different die pack, which is kind of coordinated, but it is from a different suite. This comes along with a stamp set that just has a whole bunch of sayings in it. And the dies really speak for themselves. You've got these beautiful silhouette of trees, which you can cut out these leaves and add to the trees. Or you can make them as piles of leaves like it's fall. This, I think, is just a circle to make like a sun or a moon, and then you've got a horizon that you can make a hill in the background or even a hill in the foreground too. So you could make nighttime cards, daytime cards, sunset cards, fall or summer or even spring. And this, I think, is a really versatile pack. And I just used 2 of those, I think it was these 2, to put together to make those leaves for that tree. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I love you. Our Diorama Dyes, Michelle was so funny. The first thing she thought of was making a fried egg. And that's your creativity. I love that. The first thing I thought of was doing a diorama, and that's how literal I am, I guess. So with these Diorama Dyes, I wanted to point out, because when you look at them, it's kind of deceiving in the catalog. They're not one image and then concentric circles inside. This is actually 3 different squiggly images. So we've got one image that's kind of this line, and then you've got 3 versions of that are, you know, bigger and smaller. And then the middle die is actually a different shape. And that one has 2 dies that go along with it. So you could, you know, use this like a mat, right? You could cut out a piece of paper and then cut out like another background and have it matted up. And it doesn't have to be a diorama, right? You could pop it up like that. And then on the inside here, or on the smallest 2, then you've got a totally different squiggle as well. So which ones did I use here? I think I used... Oh, I used the smaller of the bigger 3. Yeah, that's what I used. The smaller of the bigger 3 and the bigger of the smaller 2. Does that make sense? Did I use that? No, I used the smaller of the middle 2. Smallest one of the biggest 3. Am I confusing you? And the smaller one of the middle-sized 2 shapes. Oh, you guys will figure it out. And honestly, if you want another set of club cards, I'd be happy to send them to you. Just let me know what colors you have, and I might even have the opposite color scheme for you too. So that would be great. Okay, let's go through the catalog, and I'm going to show you the products that we used for this card, and then You won't want to miss it. I'm going to show you many of the stamp sets that I think would work perfectly with a diorama card. All right, here we go. First of all, the supplies that we used. At the beginning of our annual catalog, there's on page 11 our Beauty of Friendship bundle, and that's where I use the stamp set and the dies, and this designer series paper is also featured on this page. Remember, 15% off this month. I'm like a broken record. And there's that designer series paper featured on page 130 at the section of designer series papers. Remember, anything that's $15.75 is going to be on sale. Anything that's $20 is a specialty paper, and that's not going to be on sale. The Inspiring Canopy is the die pack that I used to make those smaller leaves. That one there. And let's take a look on page 52, and you'll see what I mean. The stamp set is a fantastic stamp set, but it really doesn't coordinate with those dies at all. It's just a whole bunch of sayings. So I really like this bundle because it's going to give you everything that you need and some fun dies that are really going to allow you to play. Can you imagine those beautiful silhouetted trees and then making a background with our blending brushes and a whole bunch of beautiful sunset colors? Oh, I'm excited just thinking about it. And then, of course, we've got our layering diorama card or dies, and that's a standalone set on page 163. So now let's talk about which stamp sets really jump out at me for using this diorama as a template and reapplying or applying it to different stamps. So on page 12, we've got our Seascape, which they've actually showcased as a diorama card there. And I thought that, there's another one here right away. My favorite one that I'm most excited about making a diorama with is this Mountain Air, which has gorgeous stamps and a beautiful die pack that goes along with it too. So what I would do is, you know, stamp the mountain range on that back piece there, and then you could even have trees coming in the front here, and then you could do some die cut trees that are stamped on the front. And this die pack even includes this beautiful detailed tree that doesn't require any stamping at all. On page 21, again, I'm thinking sunset blending brushes with beautiful sunset colors on the back there, and then maybe some palm trees coming up here, coming in from the side. Wouldn't that be a fun tropical card? Yep, fried eggs. I see those there, Michelle. When in doubt, you make a fried egg, right? Okay, make sure you're liking and loving along when you see one of these sets that you are really inspired by to make a diorama card. So on page 23, I thought that the Dragonfly Garden was a really fun idea. You could even have the wildflowers kind of coming over. You could have dragonflies on the different layers, and then a beautiful designer series paper on the back, like a garden, or even these trees would work really well. And here on page 27, we've got our shells. I kind of like the idea of some of the bigger shells, or maybe one of the bigger shells on the front with a saying, and then putting some of the smaller shells. And then you could even make your own designer series paper, or put that embossing folder that you can die cut at the back there. Wouldn't that be great with the seaweed coming through? We played with that a little while ago, and I think we all fell in love with it. I like this Timeless Tulip stamp set because of the different sizes of tulips. So I thought that you could make like a, you know, the feeling of Holland, right? You've got some of the bigger tulips in the front, and then maybe the next layer you've got some smaller tulips, and then maybe you make a background in the back, or blending brushes or something like that too would be really pretty. How about some tigers? Maybe you want to use this Wild Cats bundle and have the forest designer series paper in the back, and then have some of the tigers here sitting in like a little glen, right? Wouldn't that tiger fit perfectly in there? I love that idea. It always makes me chuckle because it makes me think of Tiger King, which I never watched, but it's kind of perfect as like the thing that everybody watched at the beginning of the pandemic, right? All right, on page 51, they've actually shown the diorama card, or the diorama dies here. But I think you could do so many different things with this. And keep in mind, this is just showing you 2 layers of diorama. You could even add a 3rd layer in there as well, right? Have 3 layers and have so much dimension to your diorama. It would be so pretty. I really thought this would be perfect because of the 2 different sizes of sailboats. And of course, if you wanted to incorporate the lighthouse as well, but even just like one of the big sailboats, one of the little sailboats, and then a beautiful ocean. I love what they've done here with some sponging. Isn't that beautiful? So fun. I love anything creative like this. Doesn't it just get your creative juices going? Nature's beauty really caught my eye because of these smaller trees that just scream to be put in the background here. And then you could put one of these little animals in the foreground, or even campology. I was thinking campology would be great on a vertical diorama. I don't know how it would stand up. You'd have to, you know, finesse the dimensions, but you know, maybe that's something that you could do, right? Is put those beautiful pines in here, maybe like that little tent in the front. Wouldn't that be pretty? I'm about to go camping tomorrow, so maybe that's why that one really spoke to me. This stellar birthday I thought would be a great diorama card. You could put your little astronaut in the front. You could put the spaceship on the next layer, and then you could even stamp the background with some fun planets. And of course you leave that dog in there somewhere, right? The dog with his little bone. Such a fun set. They've used some fun dyes here. If you get a chance, take a look at page 57 and take a look how they've made this sample here. It's really fun. It's called the Give It a Whirl Dyes, and it's another dye set that's all on its own. These party puffins would be so adorable. I'm just imagining them playing all around the front here. And you could just do whatever you wanted in the background, right? Confetti looking paper, something like that would be great. You could stamp your own designer series paper with a repeated pattern of all these fun little candles. Okay, beautiful moments. I was picturing, you know, this lady looking off into the sunset, or these kids playing and running through here, and you could make the horizon back there. You could have some nice little birds. I thought that was a really beautiful stamp to go along with it. And then, of course, I think this screamed to everyone maybe immediately when they thought about diorama cards, this whale done. This has a punch that goes with the whale, but most of all, I love all of the different images and the fact that they're kind of etched out. They're not full strength stamping. They're really cool when you stamp them, and it comes with great sayings as well. So can you imagine all of those different elements coming and playing in around here? Love it! Another fun one that I just think is great to incorporate as much as possible is our Back on Your Feet, and that's on page 85. This one has awesome images to color, and then the great sayings that go along with it, like this one. Hope you're back on your feet soon. You know, it's so nice to give a card to somebody who's going through a rough time, and I think a little bit of humor is always the best. Page 91, Evergreen Elegance. This one has different sized trees, so again, you could really nicely put that into a diorama. I think that would be so fun. And adorable snowman season on page 93. How about if you embossed this outer layer with like a snowflake embossing folder, and then you had this little guy just tucked in here who's catching all these little snowflakes. You could even turn this into a shaker card and diorama combination. Am I blowing your mind here? I hope you are inspired to create. Another one that I thought was going to be perfect is this birds and branches, because I thought you could put that little nest in on the second layer and it would look like you are looking through the branches and just peering into this peaceful, quiet place where they've chosen to put their nest. So that's another fun one. That has a lot of dyes, which makes your life a lot easier when you're cutting things out. So those are the things that I chose out of here, but guess what? I've also chosen a whole bunch of things out of our mini catalog, but as per Stampin' Up's policy, I actually can't show you those yet inside. So that's why you're going to want to be a part of my newsletter list. So even if you're watching the replay, doesn't matter when, just drop me a line and let me know if you want to be on the newsletter list. I'd be happy to add you and send you a copy of all of the diorama cards or diorama stamp sets that I think would be perfect. All right, what do you think, you guys? We had some fun, didn't we, today? Maybe you're stuck watching me a little bit later than normal. I started later than normal, but thanks for joining us. I'll do all the different color combinations here. There we go. And then, of course, we've got our paper pumpkin cards, too, that we featured if you were picking up. So what do you think? Which one is your favorite? Oh, do you guys like our nice spring with the beautiful gold paper and the bumblebee? Or do you like Sweet as a Peach, trifold card? Again, you're going to want to template these, so let me know if you want another pack of your projects so that you can have one to keep forever and so that you still give one away, right? That's the key. One to give away, one to keep forever. And like I said, you can get them in all the different color schemes too. So I just want to thank you again for joining me. Thank you so much for supporting my business and joining me online. I'm so happy that we can stamp together, no matter where we are, across Canada, even the world. So if you're within Canada, please reach out. I would love to help you out and get you started with stamping or enhance your stamp collection if that's what you're looking to do. And I run my club monthly, so if you place a $35 minimum order with me, you'll get these projects for free. You'll get one of each of these cards for free. So it's pretty good value if you look at how many times I crank the big boss, right? Wink, wink. So if you're interested, just let me know. I'd be happy to give you an extra set. Your first set is $20 to purchase. Additional sets are $15 after that. Or you can always get your first set free with a minimum $35 order. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope to stamp again with you very soon.